Hey, you're listening to A Year in the Bible with Daily Grace. We are in our final episode in the book of Judges. It
Yeah,
has been a wild ride, hasn't it,
it has been
CJ?
very crazy, and it's going to get a little crazier before we get to take a breath.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's jump right in and I will brace myself for the crazy.
Okay, so these are sort of brutal chapters, so brace yourself. So again, we hear the refrain in chapter 19, there's no king in Israel, okay? And we're also introduced to sort of a different story or a different subplot within Judges. We have a different Levite who's wandering around, and he's wandering around with his concubine. And he insists, rather than staying amongst these foreigners, because he thinks that they're, evil and immoral, he insists on staying in an Israelite city. Okay? So, as he stays in the Israelite city, some guy comes to him in the square and he says, "Hey, you can come stay with me and it'll be great." So, as they're all eating and drinking and staying in this home, the men of this city, the men of Gibeah is the name of the city, they surround the house and they say, "Send out that man so we can assault him." But the owner of the home says, "I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. But here's my virgin daughter and the man's concubine instead. You can assault them." So already it's like, how on earth is this
Yeah.
story even here? Okay.
Yeah.
So pretty shocking. But somehow only the concubine gets thrown out and she's assaulted and she eventually dies. And in the morning, the Levite finds her and he picks up her dead body. And in a fit of rage at what's happened, he cuts her into pieces and he sends her to all the tribes of Israel, essentially saying, "Look at this atrocity that's happened, in our cities."
Yeah.
And again, this reminds us that sin isn't something out there among the Canaanites. It's something here within us and among us. So that's kind of where we're at so far.
Yeah. This is really tough
Yeah.
to read.
Yeah.
What is Israel's response to this?
So Israel comes together in response and they ask what happened. And the Levite kind of gives a strange recounting of events. He says the lords of Gibeah did this and they wanted to kill him, but they took his concubine instead. And that's kind of what happened, but not exactly what happened. Um, but regardless, Israel, they're sort of zealous now after seeing this atrocity, and they're united and they're ready to destroy Gibeah, the whole city, based on this testimony, which may or may not be exactly accurate. But regardless, everyone is very heightened. So this creates sort of a civil war. It's Benjamin, where the city of Gibeah is, that's the tribe of Benjamin, versus everyone else. And Benjamin obviously doesn't want to destroy the entire city of Gibeah just because of what a few men did. But Israel wants payback and wants things to be made right. So again, emotions run high. This is a really serious thing that happened, and it just gets out of control. And to use the word that you've been using, chaos ensues. And somehow God seems to still be using this civil war to judge his own people for their rebellion, for their evil. And that's, I think, kind of what we see happen here.
Yeah. Okay, that brings us to chapter 21. What's going on in this
Yeah,
chapter?
so then Israel realizes what they've done in destroying most of the tribe of Benjamin. And we're alerted to back in Judges 20 that the tribes promised that they wouldn't give any of their daughters to the tribe of Benjamin after what's been committed in Benjamin. So Benjamin's going to have a hard time sort of repopulating itself. But then they realize that there's this one city that never made that oath and never fought against Benjamin in the Civil War. So they say, "Oh, okay, well, now we're just going to turn on them and we're mad at them for not fighting against Benjamin." So again, they're going to double down on this huge civil war that they're doing. And after that slaughter, there's only 400 virgins who remain, and they give those 400 virgins to some of the 600 Benjaminites who still exist after the Civil War. And as far as the remaining 200 Benjaminites, the Israelites recommend that those 200 men go and take a wife during the celebration in Shiloh, where there's dancing and singing and partying and whatnot. And the book ends with the refrain, "There is no king in Israel." So, in other words, this isn't in the Bible to show us what we should do. This
Right.
is in the Bible to show us, wow, what an atrocity that
Mhm.
Israel and Benjamin has committed. And if you think about it, what started the atrocity was the assault and the taking of a woman that didn't belong to certain men. And then what ends the story is men taking women that don't belong to them uh, in the same way. So the beginning and the end are the same, and we're right back where we started, which again is
Mm,
sort of a theme of Judges.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what do we take away from this?
Yeah, I've said this a few times, but it's obviously good to reiterate. Again, the story is sort of meant for us to look in the mirror and say, like, wow, look at what humans are capable of. Look at how far evil can go. And instead of judging others and saying evil's out there, again, we need to look at the man in the mirror and say, well, that evil lives within me and
Mhm.
is responsible for all the evil things that I do.
Mhm.
And I think too, sinful actions beget sinful actions,
Mhm.
and the buck needs to stop somewhere.
Mm.
And luckily, our third point is the buck did stop somewhere. And Jesus is the only one who lived a sinless life. And instead of allowing sin to beget sin, he stopped sin and he defeated sin and evil and he defeated death itself. And that is sort of where the ultimate story is headed. And Judges
Yes.
is just kind of a stopover until we get there.
Yes, absolutely. I think my takeaway from the book of Judges as a whole is that I desperately need Jesus,
Yeah.
and the world desperately needs Jesus. And if we ever doubt that, um, the book of Judges is a great reminder to us. And I think we can get to this place where we feel like, okay, I've got it. I can overcome my sin on my own.
Right.
Or there I see a path forward without total dependence and reliance on Christ for my salvation and for my spiritual growth. But
Mhm.
here we see that we are wholly dependent on Christ for
Yeah.
salvation. So a difficult book to
Yeah.
get through.
And a difficult ending, right?
The book of Judges is difficult, and I think our only response to that really is to cling to Christ. And so we're wrapping up Judges. Tomorrow we're going to be in Ruth, which to me always feels like such a breath of fresh air.
Sure.
And just we're zooming in on this story of just God's faithfulness in the time of the Judges, which is really
Right.
fascinating. So
That's right.
if you're feeling discouraged today, come back tomorrow. We're going to highlight some really encouraging truths in Ruth.
Sure.
We'll see you then.